So I tend to make videos right after I have therapy because that's when my thoughts about mental health are like most potent, I guess. And like I just have all these kind of ideas running around in my head. But the biggest thing that happened just now was just talking about like independence still and the barriers. I did a lot of crying during that session just because it was just like I don't know, I was like upset and frustrated and like overwhelmed, and I would say out of all things I cry the most when I'm like frustrated or angry, to be honest. Um but I know that my dad sometimes watches these videos, so this might be really weird, but um I think that my parents, and especially like the relationship that I have with my dad, when it comes to being more independent, is something that's like really holding me back, I guess. Not necessarily holding me back, but making me feel like I can't do things, or that my sense of independence or autonomy is just being run over. It's like whenever I want to do something, like recently, I wanted to get a car, I expressed interest, and then my dad becomes more involved in the car searching process than I am, and also is trying to force decisions on me or force other options on me. Like, this is not what you do, what you were going to do is wrong. And so, what I was going to do is just buy a cheaper car that, yeah, won't last as long, but I don't expect to keep maintaining the car. I just kind of want something to drive for now to get me where I want to go until I get a better job and can actually afford a better car. And he was just saying, okay, I wanted to pay like around 10,000, hopefully less, and my dad was pushing it to 11, I mean to 15,000, and I was like, fine, fine, if it's a better car and it'll last me a little longer. And then he was pushing me to 20,000, and then my uncle came in and was like, just get a new car at that point for 5,000 more. And it was just so annoying. And I was like, I'm just not gonna get a car. And then even after that, my dad is still coming to me with articles like, this is what car you should look at. And I was just like, I was already done with this. Like, I don't even want to look into this anymore because of what I've like been through just expressing interest in it. So, I have no idea about that. And I feel like another thing is when it comes to moving out and doing things like that, or taking trips on my own, because I normally want to make more trips to Minnesota, either driving or taking the train to see Nick. Um, Whenever I just said, this is what I'm gonna do, both of my parents are like, no, you're not going alone, no, you're not doing this, no, you're not doing this. And then last time my mom ended up coming with me, which it was fine, but the way that they went about it was just terrible. Like, it got us in a huge fight when I said that I would go. I already bought the train tickets and everything. It started a fight, and they were like, you're not going alone and everything. And then it was like later on, they asked me, would it be okay if mom went with you? And it was already at that point, like, I don't even have a choice. You already told me exactly what you think, and exactly what you want, and if I disagree, then disagreements will ensue. And I was just like, whatever, I'm done trying to even fight about this, just come. But um I really want to be able to just say I'm leaving for the weekend and I'll be back, and not have them ask a million little questions, like, are you staying at a hotel? Are you staying with them? No, you're not allowed to stay at a hotel by yourself. No, you're not allowed to stay with them. And it's just like, why am I not allowed to do that? And they won't even tell me. So there's that. And then the whole part of when I start to do things by myself and without my parents' approval, like let's say if I just got a car that was $3,000 or $5,000 instead of a $25,000 car, and I came home with it, it would start a fight. I would risk being manic, and then maybe I would become manic, and then it would be more proof that I'm not able to be independent, because clearly I still have manic episodes, and when I have manic episodes, I need them. So it just feels like I'm trapped, I guess. Like every time I take steps towards being more independent, I run a huge risk of becoming manic, just because of the fights, the disagreements that it causes with my parents. Because I gotta say, whenever big changes are happening in my life and I'm making decisions, and then I'm making decisions that my parents don't like, I get in fights with them, especially with my dad. And whenever I get fights in with my dad, nothing good comes out of it. I get even more manic. And then when I end up being more independent, moved out, both times at U of I this happened, I have manic episodes, and then I have to come back, and it's just, again, more proof that I can't do things by myself. So it's like, you know, one step forward, two steps back, basically. It's like, and every time I make it to neutral ground and everything's fine, and I want to take things farther and be like, I'm ready to do things by myself, because in many ways I am. I feel like if I actually got settled down, I have enough money to get started. I have, like, I'm basically graduated. I have like one more semester. Once I finish that, I'll be able to get a job with like literally everything I need. And I don't know. It's just, I don't need more manic episodes, and I hate to say it, but like my parents aren't helping that, because sometimes they cause me more stress, and it's not great. And like another part of this is that my brothers are out doing their own thing at U of I, which is the school that I basically failed at twice because of manic episodes, and seems like they're doing fine. They're living with a roommate, being more independent, learning to do things on their own. And yeah, I'm at home. And another thing is like, this is way old news and really petty, because it, like, when it really comes down to it, it doesn't matter. It's just in my mind, the whole concept. But my parents gave both of them credit cards to my parents' accounts to use at college, and when I went both times, I did not get that. And I think partly it's because they don't trust me. They don't trust me in a lot of ways, more than just with that. But on my own, without their permission, I got my own credit card, which I didn't need their permission anyway, because I was just like, I'll drive myself to the bank and set up my own thing. But yeah, so like they never gave that to me, and I'm the one that has been working pretty much straight through since I turned 16. And it just feels like at times I put so much more effort into life in general, and I have nothing to show for it. Just because everything's that much harder for someone like me or someone who has mental health problems. So, this is just like frustration and annoyance and everything like that, because there's nothing I can do about that. It's just always gonna be there and always something I have to deal with. So yeah, I'm just really hoping for, you know, one of these miracle times where when I move out, something doesn't go terribly wrong. But yeah, that's all I got. um, I had a few other things that I wanted to make a video on, but that's just not gonna happen. Maybe I'll make it later this week or maybe next week, but yeah, I just really had to get that out, I guess, and just talk about it, because I don't know, I think in situations like mine where parents want to be super supportive and want to help in any way possible, it just comes to this. And I feel like if I had been in a different situation where I was forced to be independent too early, like kicked out at 18, say, that I would have wished for this, but that just isn't the case. I am so ready to move on to other things. I don't want to live here anymore, and I want to just handle things better on my own and be able to rely on myself for most things and be like more self-sufficient, because it kind of sucks to say I still live at home and my parents take care of most of things when I'm like 23. So yeah, that's my whole rant for today, and I will see you guys next time.